Jollibee. We're down to the last part of our discussion on shareholders' equity. Part 3 is about other issues. Ang suggestion ko sa inyo, mas mag-focus kayo on parts 1 and 2. Yun mostly yung tinatanong in the board exam. Part 3, hindi yan masyadong tinatanong. Pero syempre, i-discuss ko pa rin. Okay? Let's go back to our illustration. So, si Jollibee, gusto niya mag-put up ng additional stores in the Philippines. Nag-issue siya ng shares, and one of the investors or shareholders is si ABC. Okay? Now, si Jollibee, pwede siyang mag-issue ng ordinary shares or preference shares. And pwede siyang magdagdag ng additional features. Okay? To the ordinary and preference shares. Sir, para sa yung additional features na yan? To make the shares more attractive to potential investors para mas madaling ibenta yung ordinary and preference shares. So we have 4 examples. Isa-isahin natin yan. Let's start with convertible preference shares. So when you say convertible preference shares, the shareholder, in this case ABC, has the option to convert preference shares into ordinary shares. Okay? So lalagay ko dito kung sino yung may right or yung may option. For convertible preference shares, ang may right is si shareholder. Okay? Sa illustration natin, again, si ABC. So si ABC, for example, si Jollibee, nag-issue siya ng preference shares to ABC. Kapag convertible preference shares, pwedeng si ABC, pwede niyang i-convert yung preference to ordinary. Sir, bakit i-convert ni ABC yan from preference to ordinary? If you remember class, kapag preference shares, may fixed amount of dividends yan, usually percentage. For example, 10% per year. Ganun. So kahit ano maging net income ni Jollibee, hanggang 10% lang yung pwedeng ma-earn na dividends ni preference shareholder. Ngayon, kapag si ABC, tingin niya, sobrang tataas yung net income ni Jollibee, mas gusto niya yung ordinary shares. Okay? Kasi pag ordinary shares, mas mataas yung net income, mas mataas yung dividends. Okay? So apply muna natin yan. And let's go to illustrative example number 14. Convertible preference shares. Sige, prepare the journal entries. Pinnacle Corporation issued 1,000 convertible preference shares with par value of 100 for 120 pesos per share. 1,000 times 120, 120,000. January 1, 2025, debit cash, 120,000. And then nag-issue tayo ng preference shares. Siyempre at par value yan, 1,000 times 100, that's 100,000. And balancing figure natin, share premium preference shares, 20,000. Okay, so yun yung at the date of issuance. Let's go to scenario 1. Subsequently, the preference shares are converted into ordinary share at 1 ordinary share for 1 preference share. Tama ba class? 1,000 yung total na in-issue, tama? So 1:1. Pwede niya i-convert yung preference into 1,000 ordinary shares. The ordinary shares have par value of 50 pesos. Sir, paano gagawin mo dyan? Ganito entry ko dyan class. Tama ba yung preference shares i-convert daw to ordinary shares? Right? So scenario number 1, lagay ko scenario 1, ganito gagawin ko dyan. Since i-convert mo yung preference shares, dapat mawala na yan sa books. Okay? I-debit yan. Debit preference shares, 100,000. Tanggalin mo din yung share premium preference shares, 20,000. And then magiging ordinary shares yan. Credit ordinary shares, 1,000 times yung par value of 100. 50 nakalagay. Ordinary shares have par value of 50. Okay? So 1,000 times 50, 50,000. Balancing figure, share premium ordinary shares, 120 yung debit, meron tayong 50 na credit, therefore 70,000. Okay? So yan, entry mo dyan upon conversion. Right? So pag kinonvert, tanggalin mo lang yung preference, and then mag-recognize tayo na ordinary. Let's go to scenario number 2. Scenario 2. Nakalagay dyan, the subsequently the preference shares are converted into ordinary shares at 3 ordinary shares for 1 preference shares. So kung 1,000 yung in-issue natin originally, mako-convert daw siya into 3 ordinary shares. So magkakaroon ng 3,000 ordinary shares. Right? And take note pala, ang point of view natin, tayo si issuer, ha? Tayo si Jollibee. Okay? Kaya tayo may entry na ganyan. Alright? So sige. The ordinary shares have par value of 50. O, tingnan natin. So, upon conversion sa scenario 2, syempre tanggalin mo na yung preference shares. Debit preference shares, 100,000. Debit share premium preference shares, 20,000. Mag-recognize tayo ng ordinary shares, 3,000 times par value of 50, that is 150,000. Uy, kulang yung debit natin. 120 and then 150. Saan mo i-charge yung difference? I-charge mo yung difference to retained earnings. Kasi ubos na yung share premium eh. Debit RE, balancing figure, 30,000. Ayun. So, ganyan tayo for scenario number 2. Okay, meron tayong related main problem dyan. Punta tayo class dun sa main problem number 8. Okay, main problem number 8. Alright, so main problem number 8, convertible preference shares pa rin yan. So, lagay natin dito. Main problem number 8. Sige, so what is the net amount of the APIC or share premium as a result of the issuance of the preferred stock and its subsequent conversion into common stock? Okay, main problem number 8. In 2021, Marella Inc. issued for 105 pesos per share, 8,000 shares of 100 par value convertible preferred stock. Lagyan natin ng journal entry. So, 8,000 times 105, 840,000. Debit cash, 840,000. Credit preference shares or preferred stock at par value, 8,000 times 100, 800,000. Tama ba? Meron tayong share premium preference shares, 40,000. Okay? Now, one share of preferred stock can be converted into 3 shares. So, kung 8,000, yung original shares natin, pwede doon natin i-convert into 3. So, 24,000 yan. Tama? Shares of its 25 par value common stock at the option of the preferred shareholder. In August 2022, all of the preferred stock were converted into common stock. The market value, 30 pesos per share. Actually, ignore mo yung market value. Hindi relevant sa atin yan. What is the net amount of APIC? So, upon conversion, tanggalin natin yung preference shares. Debit preference shares, 800,000. Debit share premium preference shares, 40,000. And then, mag-recognize tayo ng ordinary shares, 24,000. Yung par value dito, nakalagay dyan sa second sentence is 25. 24,000 shares times 25, that is 600,000. Okay? So, credit ordinary shares, 600,000. Yung debit mo is 840. So, ibig sabihin, yung balancing figure natin na share premium ordinary shares, 240,000. Okay. So, what is the net amount of APIC? So, meron tayong APIC na credit na 40, debit na 40. So, nag-cancel out lang. Therefore, ang sagot mo dyan is 240,000 kasi cancel out to. Got it? So, answer is dog 240,000. Okay? So, that's for convertible preference shares. Let's now go to the second type of or example of pag may additional feature. Callable preference shares. Pag callable preference shares, the issuer has the option or right to redeem, okay, or call, yun yung mga ibang terms dyan, or retire the preference shares. Okay, si issuer daw, sino yung issuer? So yung may right dito sa example natin, si Jollibee. Okay, si JFC, the issuer. Alright, so meron siyang option to redeem, pag call or retire, ibig sabihin, pwede niyang i-buyback. Okay? Pero hindi yan treasury shares, ha? Kasi pag treasury shares, pwede mo i-reissue. Dito, i-retire mo na. So, for example, nag-issue ng ordinary shares si Jollibee kay ABC, si Jollibee at any time, pwede niyang bilhin yung shares from ABC at i-retire niya agad. Okay? Kaya hindi yan considered as treasury shares kasi i-retire siya. Alright? Sige, so ganun na siya. And since usually kapag callable preference shares, merong cash payment yan na involved. Alright, so tingnan natin. Let's go to illustrative example number 15. Callable preference shares. Illustrative example number 15, tingnan natin class kung paano yung entries natin kapag callable preference shares. Alright, requirement is prepare the journal entries and then meron tayong 2 scenarios. Mr. Accounting Corp issued 1,000 callable preference shares with par value of 100 pesos for 120 pesos per share. So, lagyan natin ng entry yan. Debit cash, so January 1, 2025, debit cash, 1,000 times 120, that's 120,000. Credit preference shares, 100,000. Credit share premium, 20,000. Okay? Scenario number 1, the preference shares are subsequently called in for redemption at 130 pesos per share. So, again, si issuer yung merong right to redeem. Okay? 130 pesos per share. Tama ba, class? Ang gagawin mo dyan, point of view tayo ni issuer, ha? Take note. So, i-redeem natin, may credit cash tayo. Credit cash muna, how much? 1,000 shares times 130 is 130,000. Tandaan mo, tayo si issuer, tayo yung magbabayad, tayo yung magbabayback. Right? And then, i-retire natin. I-debit mo yan. Tanggalin mo yung preference shares, 100,000. And then, debit share premium, preference shares, 20,000. Alright? Balancing figure mo, 120 yung debit, credit mo is 130, ubos na yung share premium, therefore, i-debit mo sa RE yan, 10,000. So, meron tayong cash involved. Kaya nilagay ko dito. Unlike yung kanina convertible, walang cash involved dyan. Kino-convert lang natin yung preference into ordinary. Let's go to scenario number 2. The preference shares are subsequently called in for redemption of 90 pesos per share. So, tayo si issuer, credit cash, 90,000 kasi 1,000 shares times 90. Okay? Tanggalin na natin yung preference shares kasi nga binayback na natin yan, i-retire na natin. Debit preference shares, 100,000. Share premium preference shares, 20,000. So, mas malaki yung debit, 120. And then 90,000 yung cash. Therefore, meron tayong share premium. Lagay natin redemption of preference shares. Alright? 30,000. Okay, so take note, ang balancing figure mo lagi dito, pag credit, share premium. Kanina, kapag kulang yung debit, ubos na yung share premium mo, retained earnings. Okay, dito, never ka magkikredit ng retained earnings. Kaya yung RE, pwede na siya mag-decrease, never siya mag-i-increase. And take note, wala tayong gain or loss. Kapag nagko-convert, kapag nagre-redeem, walang gain or loss yan. Kasi share premium yung i-charge natin yan. Okay? And also take note, ito, description lang yan. Ang mahalaga dyan is yung excess share premium. Kasi ang tinatanong usually sa boards, how much yung total share premium? Or how much yung net effect sa share premium? Ganun siya. Okay? So that's for scenario number 2. Let's now go to number 3. Okay? Example number 3 natin. Redeemable preference shares. When you say redeemable preference shares, the shareholder has the option, okay, to require the issuer to redeem the preference shares. Okay? So the shareholder, sino yun? Sa ABC, lagay ko dito, ang may right is si shareholder, okay, which is ABC sa illustration natin. Pwede niyang i-require si Jollibee na i-redeem yung preference shares. Magkaiba yan dun sa number 2. Kanina, ang may right si Jollibee. Ngayon naman, ang may right si shareholder sa ABC. Okay? So, since si shareholder sa ABC, anytime pwede niyang i-require si Jollibee na i-redeem yung shares, ang tawag natin diyang classes, mandatorily redeemable preference shares. Kapag mandatory, pag required, okay, ang classification niyang class is liability, hindi equity. Okay, liability yung classification kasi sa point of view ni Jollibee, si ABC at anytime pwede kanyang i-require tayo si Jollibee, pwede tayong i-require na i-redeem natin yung preference share. So may obligation tayo, may liability tayo. Tanda mo, mandatorily redeemable preference shares. Pag mandatory, liability yan. Ano sir yung effect niyan? Kapag nagbayad ka ng dividends, hindi mo i-record as dividends. Since liability yan, yung dividends mo, i-record mo as interest expense. Got it? Okay. So kaya nilagay ko dito sino may right para mas malinaw, no? Sige, so let's go to, okay, number 16. Illustrative example, number 16, about mandatorily redeemable preference shares. So, pakita ko sa inyo, class. Sige, so prepare the journal entries. On January 1, 2025, CPA Corp issued mandatorily redeemable preference shares in exchange for cash equal to 5 million at par value of 100. Okay, so January 1, 2025, lagyan natin ng entry, debit cash, credit redeemable preference shares at par value daw, 5 million. Ano yung classification yan? Since mandatorily redeemable yan, liability, hindi yan equity. Okay? Sige. Dividends are to be paid at 10 pesos per share and the shares must be redeemed on January 1. Okay? So, 2020, kailan ba nangyari yan? 2025, 2026, and 2027. So, mag-record tayo ng dividends. 12/31/2025, tama ba kung 5 million daw, ito 5 million, i-divide mo yan sa par value of 100, meron tayong 50,000 shares. Yung dividends natin, 10 pesos per share, therefore 500,000 per year. Okay? Pero sabi ko kanina, kapag mandatorily redeemable preference shares, huwag mo i-record as dividends. Interest expense yan. Debit interest expense, credit cash, 500,000. Alright? Next year, bayad ulit. 12/31/2026, debit interest expense, credit cash, 500,000. And kailangan daw i-redeem January 1, 2027. Okay, so, paano yan? Again, point of view tayo ni issuer. Debit, redeemable preference shares, credit cash, 5 million. Ayun, bayaran mo na siya. Kasi ni-redeem na niya. Okay, so again, interest expense, hindi dividends. Kasi pag dividends, di ba, magde-debit tayong retained earnings, tapos cash dividends payable. Hindi. Interest expense yan. Okay? Walang equity component yan. Lahat liability. Okay? Sige, so, let's go to the last one. Last example. Preference shares with share warrants. Yung share warrants, ilang beses natin yan na-discuss. Okay? Ibig sabihin lang yan, shareholder, meron siyang option to buy new shares. Mas priority siya kaysa sa mga new or yung mga outside shareholders. Okay? Anyway, so preference shares with share warrants, this is an example of compound financial instrument. Okay? And we know kapag compound financial instrument, we have to separate the two components. Alright? So, they have to be presented separately. Actually, na-discuss na natin yan sa liabilities. Okay? Now, dalawa yung instruments dyan. Meron tayong preference shares and meron tayong share warrants. Okay? Now, kung babalik tayo sa liabilities, just to recall, naalala nyo ba class yung compound financial instrument? For example, meron tayong bonds with share warrants. Na-discuss natin ito before. Okay? Pag yung bonds with share warrants, kung maalala nyo, ang gagawin natin doon is yung liability component na bonds payable at fair value yan. Okay? And then yung residual na share warrants, which is the equity, ito yung residual o yung remainder. Naalala nyo yung discussion natin dyan? So, meron tayong compound financial instruments, yung liability at fair value, i-minus mo yung dalawa, yun yung equity. Tama? Ngayon, dito class, iba yung treatment. Kasi yung preference shares, equity account yan. Share warrants, equity account din yan. In particular, this is considered a share premium. Okay? Equity and equity. Unlike ito, yung na-discuss natin before, liability and equity. So, ibig sabihin class, magkamukha lang yung, kumbaga, yung pareho silang equity. So, i-separate mo sila using their fair value. Parehong fair value nila. Okay? Now, pakita ko na sa inyo class para mas maliwanag. Let's go to illustrative example number 17. Preference shares with share warrants. Pakita ko sa inyo yung difference, no? Sige. So, number 17. Tignan natin. Sige. XYZ issued 1,000 preference shares with par value of 100 for 135,000. Ay, entryhan na natin agad yan. January 1, 2025. Okay, debit cash. Or kung ano man yung date na yan. 135,000. Credit preference shares. Tama ba? 100,000 yung par value. Yan muna. Debit cash muna tayo, 135,000. Sige. Now, the preference shares included 1,000 share warrants that entitled the holder to acquire 500 ordinary shares with par value of 50 for 70 pesos per share. Yung 50 par value yan. Yung 70, yan daw yung, ang tawag natin dyan, exercise price. Yan yung kung magkano yung babayad ni shareholder para makabili ng isang ordinary share. Okay? The fair values are determined as follows. Preference share with X warrant. Pag sinabing X warrant, excluding, pagka daw walang warrants, yung fair value ng preference share is 110 pesos per share. Yung warrant naman, 10 pesos per share. Ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Preference shares, pag wala siyang warrants, okay, without warrants or X warrants, how much yan? 110. Okay, and then yung share warrants, 10. Gagawin ko dyan, multiply ko sa number of shares. Tama? So yung fair value of the preference shares, 1,000 times 110, 110,000. Okay, e bawat isang share may isang warrant. Okay, 1,000 share warrants. Times 1,000, you have 10,000. Total fair value, 120,000. Okay, so kumbaga parang yung buong financial instrument, okay, 120,000. Yung fair value nila. Kailangan natin i-allocate yan. So how much na receive? 135,000. So 135,000, allocate natin. 135,000 times 110 divided by 120. Okay, 123,750. Yun. And then, 135,000 times 10 divided by 120, you have 11,250. Ganun yung pag-allocate natin. Okay? So, parang may equal preference sila kasi pareho silang equity. So, i-separate mo sila or allocate mo at their fair values. Right? So, yung preference shares natin, kailangan natin siya class i-record at 123,750. So, gagawin ko dyan, credit preference shares, credit share premium preference shares. Okay, dun muna tayo sa par value. Tama ba? May 1,000 preference shares, par value is 100, so 100,000. And then, dapat ang total nito is 123,750. So, ibig sabihin, 23,750, yun yung share premium. Okay? Kaya yung preference shares mo, ayun, 123,750. And then yung share warrants, credit share warrants, actually share premium din yan, no? Credit share premium, share warrants, 11,250. Ayan, this is your entry. Sige, number 1. Scenario number 1. Subsequently, all of the warrants were exercised. O, paano gagawin natin dyan? Tama ba, mayroong right yung shareholder na bumili? Okay, so tayo si issuer, makaka-receive tayo ng cash. Computin natin yung cash. 135, yung cash natin is, ilan ba yung mabibili niya? Punta ka dun sa first paragraph, last sentence, entitled daw siya to acquire 500 ordinary shares or 70 pesos per share. So 500 times 70, that is 35,000. Debit cash, 35,000. Siyempre, in-exercise na, tanggalin mo na to. Debit share premium share warrants, 11,250. Issue tayo ng ordinary shares, 500 ordinary shares, 50 daw yung par value, tama? So 25,000, balancing figure, share premium ordinary shares, So 35,000 plus 11,250 minus 25,000, you get 21,250. Yan yung entry natin for scenario number 1. Okay? Let's go to scenario number 2. Sige, so what if daw nag-expire? Hindi in-exercise, na-expire lang. I-reclassify mo lang yan. Dapat wala ka ng share warrants. Debit share premium, share warrants, i-reclassify lang din natin sa share premium. Okay, expired share warrants. Ganun lang. 11,250. Ganun lang siya kapag na-expire. Nire-reclassify mo lang. Okay, expired share warrants. Ayan, so that's for illustrative example number 17. Now, sagot tayo ng may compound financial instrument na may liability and equity components para side by side ma-compare natin. Let's go to main problems 9 and 10. Doon muna tayo sa 9. Main problem 9. Okay? Main problem number 9. Sige, so what amount of the proceeds from the bond issue should it record as stockholders' equity? On April 1, Angela Corporation issued 1.5 million, 10% non-convertible bonds at 104. So 1.5 million times 1.04. Na-compute mo ba yung 1,560,000? Okay, so meron tayong 1,560,000. So basically, ito yung compound financial instrument natin. In this case, bonds with, sabi dyan, each 1,000 bond was issued with 40 detachable stock warrants. So bonds with share warrants. Okay? Sige, so compound financial instrument. Again, kailangan natin siya i-separate. Yung liability component, which is the bonds payable, and equity component, which is the share premium, share warrants. Okay, sige. On April 1, the market value of the common stock was 40 pesos per share and the market value of each warrant was 4. Well, hindi given yung fair value ng liability. So, wala tayong choice kundi gamitin yung fair value ng equity. Pero kapag given yung liability, syempre, yun mo gagamitin mo. 4 daw per warrant. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, class, tama ba? 4 and then, meron tayong, so, computin natin. Meron tayong 1.5 million, okay, na bonds, na bonds. Sabi dyan, each 1,000, so, i-divide natin by 1,000, convertible daw, meron daw siyang 40 na detachable warrants. Okay? And then, ang market value ng isang warrant is 4. So, computing nga natin yan. 1.5 million divided by 1,000 times 40 times 4, 240,000. Okay? So, 1,560,000 yung buong instrument minus 240,000, yung fair value of the liability is 1,320,000. Pero kapag may given yung fair value of liability, syempre, yun yung priority mo. Wala kasi sa problem, so no choice tayo kundi gamitin yung equity. Okay? Boy yung sagot mo dyan. What amount of the proceeds should it report as stockholders' equity? Ayun, 240,000, letter B or boy. Let's go to main problem number 10. Okay, how much is the increase in the stockholders' equity arising from the issuance of the convertible bonds? Dwight Company issued 5 million face value convertible bonds. So yung convertible bonds is a compound financial instrument. I-separate natin yung bonds payable, the liability component, and the conversion privilege. Actually, conversion privilege class share premium din yan, no? Which is equity. Okay? Ayan, sige. It is estimated that the bonds would sell only at 103 without the conversion feature. So 5 million times 1.03, yung fair value of the bonds payable, 5,150,000. Tama ba? Yung total issuance according to the first sentence is 110. So 5 million times 1.1, yung total compound financial instrument is 5.5 million. Got it? So ito yung 5.5 million in issue. Ito yung fair value of the bonds. Therefore, yung conversion privilege natin, yun yung residual. 5.5 minus 5,150, you get 350,000. Answer natin dyan, class, letter A, 350,000. Okay? So ito yung difference. Kanina, preference shares with share warrants allocated based on fair value. Okay? Kapag naman may liability at may equity, priority yung liability, yung residual yung equity. Yun yung difference nila. Okay? Sige, so that's for main problem number 10. Alright, so 2 concepts na lang, and then we're done with shareholders' equity. Let's go to recapitalization. Sir, what is recapitalization? This happens when there are changes in the capital structure of a corporation. So, pag sinabing capital, ibig sabihin yung equity. Pag nagbabago yung equity portion, yung shareholders' equity portion, recapitalization yan, okay? In a recapitalization, there will be a cancellation of old shares plus issuance of new shares. Okay, so tandaan nyo, ika-cancel natin yung old, mag-i-issue tayo ng bagong shares. Yun yung ginagawa sa recapitalization. There are 3 ways to perform recapitalization. Number 1, change from par value to no par value. shares. Or the other way around. From no par, gagawin nating par value. Okay? So for example, sa articles of incorporation mo, may par value. Gusto mo nang gawing no par value. Ayun, recapitalization tawag doon. And the other way around. So sir, bakit ginagawa yan? So bigyan kita ng example. For example, originally no par value tayo. So may stated value. Bakit mo siya i-convert into par value shares? Kasi yung no par, again, ang minimum nun is 5 pesos. Tama? Pag yung stated value natin. Hindi ka pwede mag-issue below 5 pesos per share. Pag kinonvert mo sa par value yan, pwede ka na mag-issue below the minimum. Okay? Kasi wala ka namang minimum kapag par value shares. So, ginagawa mo yan para maging affordable sa mga investors. Got it? Okay, next. Reduction of par value. So, for example, originally, ang par value natin is 100 pesos per share. I-reduce natin to 50 pesos. Bakit ginagawa yan? To make it affordable to the investors. Yan lang siya. And third way to do recapitalization is share split. Okay, dalawang klase yung share split. Share split up and share split down. Okay, so ano difference yan? Kapag share split up, yung number of shares mo, tataas. Share split down, bababa yung number of shares. Okay? Pag tumaas yung number of shares, bababa yung par value. Pag bumaba yung number of shares, tataas yung par value. Okay? Papakita ko na later kung paano gawin yan. But important, sa tatlo na yan. Okay? Change from par to no par and vice versa. Reduction of par value, and then share split, tandaan mo class, no effect yan to total shareholders' equity. Tandaan mo yan. Sige, so let's apply the principles. Let's go to illustrative example number 18. Doon tayo sa 18. Illustrative example number 18. So, tingnan natin class. Prepare the journal entries to record the above transactions. So, this is change from par to no par. Ganun din naman gagawin mo kapag no par to par. Okay? Sige. So, the shareholders' equity of Pinnacle Corp before recapitalization is as follows. Meron tayong share capital, share premium, and retained earnings. Now, scenario number 1. Pinnacle recalls and cancels the 10,000 shares and replaces them with no par shares, 20,000 no par, stated value of 5. So, ang ginawa dito, kinancel yung old shares, nag-issue ng bagong shares. Okay? So, ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Scenario number 1, since ika-cancel natin yung old shares, tanggalin mo lahat ng old shares. Okay? Debit share capital, tama ba? 1 million yung nasa given. Tanggalin mo din yung share premium, 200,000. Kasi ka-cancel mo yung old shares eh. Mag-issue tayo ng bagong shares. Credit share capital, ilan shares daw? 20,000. Yung par value is 5, therefore 100,000 yan. Bagong share premium natin, balancing figure, 1.2 million yung debit, meron kang 100,000, 1.1 million share premium. Yun yung entry natin for scenario number 1. Cancel old, issue new shares. Okay? Scenario number 2. Pinnacle recalls and cancels the 10,000 shares and replaces them with 20,000 no par shares with stated value of 65 pesos per share. Cancel the old, debit share premium 1 million. Debit share capital 1 million. Debit share premium 200,000. Credit share capital, ilan shares yan? Nakalagay 20,000 shares, 65 daw. Yung stated value per share, so 20,000 times 65, that is 1.3 million. This time, mas mataas yung credit natin than the debit. Naubos na natin yung share premium, i-retain earnings mo yan, 100,000. Okay? Take note, lahat ng debit mo, lahat ng credit mo, lahat yan shareholders' equity accounts. Kaya sabi ko dito, no effect yan to total shareholders' equity. Let's go to illustrative example, number 19. Gawin naman natin yung reduction of par value. The shareholders' equity of ABC before recapitalization is as follows. Meron tayong share capital, share premium, retained earnings. Original par value natin is 100. Gustong i-reduce to 80 pesos per share. Okay? ABC reduces the par value to 80 pesos per share. Ano gagawin natin? Cancel old, issue new shares. Gagawin ko dyan, debit share capital, 1 million. Debit share premium, 200,000. Yun yung cancellation ng old. Old dyan, tama? Issue tayo ng new shares. Credit share capital, 10,000 yung shares, and then yung bagong par value is 80. Therefore, meron tayong 800,000. Tama? And then, credit share premium from recapitalization. Okay? So, that balancing figure mo dito is 400,000. Ayun, ganun na siya. Kapag reduction ng par value. Lahat ng debit equity, lahat ng credit equity, therefore, no effect to total shareholders' equity. Let's go to illustrative example number 20. Ito naman, yung third one is share split. Okay, si-split natin. Sige, Mr. Accounting Corp has 10,000 shares with par value of 100. Tama ba? Originally, number of shares natin, lagyan natin, number of shares, and then yung par, and then yung total. Okay? So originally, meron tayong 10,000 shares. Yung par value natin is 100. Tama ba? 10,000 times 100 is 1 million. Okay? So, tandaan mo, class, kapag share split, memo entry lang yan. Wala kang journal entry, memo lang. Iibahin mo lang yung number of shares and yung par value. Doon muna tayo sa share split up. Sabi diyang class, scenario number 1, 2 for 1. O, times 2 mo yung number of shares. Got it? So, 10,000 times 2, 20,000. I-divide mo naman yung par value. Okay? Kaya sabi ko dito, increase shares, decrease par. 100 divided by 2 naman yan, 50. Take note, 20,000 times 50 is still 1 million. Share split up, 1 million pa rin yung total. Kaya walang effect yan sa total stockholders' equity. Share split down, okay? 1 for 2. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, 10,000 divided by 2, 5,000. 100 times 2, that's 200. Okay? 5,000 times 200, still 1 million. Memo entry lang yan. I-describe mo lang yan sa notes to financial statements na nagkaroon ng share split, nagkaroon ng share split up, share split down. Okay? Pero take note, yung total shareholders equity, 1 million pa rin yan. Kaya sabi ko, sa 3 ways na yan, no effect to total shareholders equity. And if silent, kunyari nakalagay lang sa problem, share split. Hindi sinabing up or down. Up yan, pag silent yung problem. Okay, so take note of that. Okay, that's for recapitalization. We're now down to the last minor topic na lang, subtopic. Quasi-reorganization. Sir, ano ba yung quasi-reorganization? From the word itself, reorganization. Okay, ibig sabihin niyang class, this applies to financially troubled corporations. Okay, financially troubled, malapit na mabankrupt or distressed corporation sila. Pero they have the potential to recover. May pag-asa pa. Okay? So, financially troubled, pero hindi naman mababankrupt talaga. May chance pa na makarecover. Okay? Pwede silang mag-perform ng quasi-reorganization or basically fresh start. Okay? Now, before tayo makapag-perform ng quasi-reorganization, we have to satisfy 4 criteria. Okay? Kasi usually, i-apply mo yan sa Securities and Exchange Commission. So, may strict requirements yung SEC. Among other things, ito yung hinahanap nila. Number 1, dapat may large deficit. Okay, ano ba yung large deficit? Ibig sabihin niyang class, merong negative retained earnings. Okay, so if you remember, yung retained earnings natin, normal balance yan is credit. Okay, pero for example, puro net loss. 3 years na net loss. Naging balance mo, naging debit. Ang tawag mo sa debit na retained earnings is deficit. That's one of the criteria. Next is approved by shareholders and creditors. Siyempre, kapag yung corporation malapit na mabankrupt, again, ang concern dyan, yung mga creditors and shareholders. Kasi kailangan natin bayaran yung creditors. Pag may excess, bibigyan natin sa shareholders. Kaya yung reorganization, i-approve mo na yan ng mga affected parties such as shareholders and creditors. Next is approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Again, pinapa-approve pa yan sa SEC. And next is advantageous to all parties. Sino ba yung parties dito? Shareholders and creditors. So, dapat advantageous, win-win sa lahat ng parties involved. Alright? There are 2 ways to perform quasi-reorganization. Number 1 is recapitalization. Uy, sir, familiar yan. Kakadiscuss na natin yan. Ito. Okay? So, pwede yan. Tama ba? Pag nag-recapitalize tayo, take note, may mga nagiging share premium dyan. Tama? May nag-a-arise na share premium. Ano pa? Second way to perform quasi-reorganization is through revaluation of PPE. Kapag revaluation, meron tayong revaluation surplus. So, ang mangyayari dyan, class, para ma-imagine nyo, yung share premium and revaluation surplus na yan, pwede mong i-charge to RE. I-increase yung RE mo. So, itutuloy mo yung T account, meron kang share premium dyan, meron kang revaluation surplus until maging positive yung retained earnings mo. Okay, ending balance mo maging positive. That's why in a quasi-reorganization, ang objective mo dyan, itaas yung RE. Kasi nga fresh start yan. Kasi from negative, gusto mo maging 0 or positive. Okay? Increase in retained earnings. Let's go to our last illustrative example, number 21. Okay, so okay na yung recapitalization. Naalala natin yan. Let's perform yung revaluation. Okay? Actually, may recapitalization din yata dito. So, comprehensive naman yung illustrative example natin. Okay? Prepare the journal entries. Pinnacle Corporation has been incurring losses for several years. On December 31, the SEC permitted Pinnacle to implement a quasi-reorganization after due approval of Pinnacle's shareholders and creditors. So basically, na-meet naman lahat ng criteria. Pinnacle statement of financial position immediately before diba? So before quasi-reorganization, meron tayong assets, liabilities, equity, pero tingin ka dun sa retained earnings. Negative, nakalagay deficit of 1,970. Ang gusto natin, mag-zero yun or at least zero or mag-positive. Okay? Sige, the quasi-reorganization plan provides the following. Meron tayong mga ito yung mga na-approve, okay? I-journalize natin. Letter A, the building shall be revalued at an appraised value of 1.5 million. Tingin ka dun sa building, sa balance sheet. 800,000 magiging 1.5. Tama ba? Increase ng 700,000 yan? Revaluation yan. Okay? So, debit building, credit revaluation surplus, 700,000. Letter B, 30% of the receivables or accounts receivable shall be written off. Tandaan mo class, yung mga ganyan is-charge mo sa RE. Especially yung mga income statement items, lahat yan. RE mo ididiretso, wag ng income statement account, okay? So how much ba yung 30% of receivables? 2 million AR times 30%, that is 600,000. Debit RE, again sa RE yung charge. Credit AR, 600,000. Let's go to letter C. Inventory shall be written down to its NRV of 1 million. Tingin ka sa inventory, nakita mo ba yung 1,550,000? Ibababa mo ng 1 million. So that's a decrease of 550,000. So again, lahat ng income statement items, yung mga losses, gains, RE mo ididiretso yan. So loss yan, di ba? Debit RE, credit inventory, 550,000. Let's go to letter D. Goodwill shall be written off. So may 50,000 of goodwill sa problem. Credit goodwill, debit RE. Instead of impairment loss, again, diretso sa RE yan. How much? 50,000. Let's go to letter E. 30,000 probable loss, instead na loss, RE yan. Debit RE, credit estimated loss, which is a liability, okay, on lawsuit, that is 30,000. Letter F, share capital shall be reduced to 2.5 million with par value per share of 100. Uy, recapitalization to ah. So i-cancel natin yung old shares. Nakita mo yung share capital sa balance sheet ng 5 million. Debit share capital, 5 million. Wala namang share premium. Issue tayo ng bagong shares. Credit share capital, 25,000 times 100, that is 2.5 million. And then, meron tayong share premium na balancing figure, 2.5 million. So, kaya sabi ko kanina, yung quasi-reorganization, pwede siyang recapitalization, parang ginawa natin sa F. Pwede rin siyang revaluation, which is basically yung mga previously ginagawa natin. Ha? Letter G, any resulting balance of share premium, ito, and revaluation surplus shall be used to wipe out the deficit. How much yung share premium natin? Ito, 2.5 million. Hasan yung revaluation surplus natin? 700,000. Ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Debit revaluation surplus, 700,000. Debit share premium, 2.5 million. Parang yung sinabi ko kanina. Okay, increase mo yung RE. 700 plus 2.5, 3.2 million. Okay, so let's take a look at iyan lahat ng journal entries. Let's take a look at the balance of RE. Tama ba, class? Yung nasa balance sheet before the quasi-reorganization is 1,970,000. Debit, deficit eh. Okay? So sa letter A, wala namang RE dyan. Letter B, 600,000. Debit. Letter C, may debit tayong 550,000. Letter D, meron tayong debit na 50. Okay, so far, puro debit. Letter E, may 30,000 tayo na debit. Pero sa letter G, meron tayong credit na 3.2 million. Okay, so let's compute the balance of the RE. 1,970,000 plus 600,000 plus 550 plus 50 plus 30 minus 3.2 million. Ayun, 0. Ending balance of RE, 0. From negative, naging 0, tumaas basically. Okay, so yun yung goal of quasi-reorganization. Ma-eliminate yung deficit, maging at least 0 or positive yung retained earnings natin. Ayan, yun yung sagot natin. These are the journal entries. Yan yung effect to your retained earnings. Okay, so I think nasagutan na natin lahat ng problem solving, okay, for shareholders' equity. Let's finish this by answering the remaining theory questions. Punta tayo dun sa number 8. Theory number 8. The features frequently associated with preference shares include all of the following except non-voting. Again, in general, hindi nakaboto yung mga preference shares. Tama yan. Convertible, yes, pwede yan. Convertible preference shares. Letter C, callable at the callable, okay sana. Callable, kaya lang nakalagay at the option of the shareholder. Hindi. Kapag callable, ang may option hindi si shareholder, si issuer. Sa illustration natin, si Jollibee. Letter C for number 8. Yan yung mali dyan. Number 9, which feature makes a preference share more like debt than an equity instrument? Uy, kapag liability. Mandatorily redeemable preference shares. Saan yun? Letter C, redeemable preference shares for number 9. Okay, number 21. 21, how is an increase in the number of shares as a result of stock split recorded? Pag stock split, memo entry lang yan. Wala kang journal entry. Letter C, the transaction will be recorded by memo, notation in the journal, or memo entry. Letter C for number 21. Next is number 26. Which of the following regarding the conversion of preferred stock into common stock? Pag nagko-convert tayo, pag nagre-redeem, and so on and so forth, sabi ko, walang gain or loss. Balancing figure mo, retained earnings, or share premium. Letter D for number 26. Dog, no gain or loss resulting from a conversion are recognized. Again, laging ganun ha, walang gain or loss sa equity conversion. Number 28. The distribution of share rights or yung mga share warrants to existing ordinary shares would increase share premium. Kung maalala niyo yung journal entry natin kayo na, kapag in-exercise na yung share warrants or yung share rights, dun tayo may entry. For number 28, boy yan. Okay? At the date of exercise of share rights. Number 23 or 33, last 3 items, where the recapitalization involves a reduction in the legal capital for the purpose of eliminating an existing deficit. Ano tawag natin dyan? Quasi-reorganization. Boy for number 33. The primary purpose of a quasi-reorganization is to give an entity the opportunity to, letter C, eliminate a deficit in retained earnings. In this case, example natin, naging 0 siya. Okay, from negative, naging 0. 34, letter C. After a quasi-reorganization where a deficit is removed, the balance of retained earnings will, ano mangyayari dyan? Sa kanina, negative, naging 0. Ibig sabihin, tumaas. RE natin, increase, letter A for number 35. Okay, I think nasagutan natin lahat. Tama ba? Lahat ng illustrative examples, double check ko lang. And lahat ng main problems natin. Okay, so, ayan, that's it. That concludes our discussion on shareholders' equity.